I wanted to run away with my young lover outside feeling miserable. I sat with my mother-in-law in the carriage heading up the mountain to pray for a child, not daring to cry out when I was young. Having a crush had to be hidden. Now that I am grown up, I still have to hide my lover from my mother-in-law and husband. Only then can I be as free as a man, and not be forced by others to have children. You have been married into this family for over half a year. Even a hen would have hatched several broods by now. Why is there still no movement in your belly? Useless trash. If you don't get pregnant soon. I don't think you need to be the princess consort anymore. I really wanted to tell her that it's not that I am useless, but really because your son is impotent. Half a year ago on our wedding night, I waited and waited until midnight, but Xiao Heng never showed up. I had to take off my bridal veil myself and go out to look for him, only to find him behind a rockery, pouring his heart out to someone. To me, she is just an ornament. I will never touch her. I will always belong only to you. The young guard was moved to tears. They embraced. The scene instantly made my stomach churn. I couldn't help but retch, which successfully alerted them. My heart instantly leaped into my throat. Subconsciously, I tilted my head. A sword grazed my cheek. It flew past, leaving a bloody streak. Xiao Heng shielded the young guard behind him and warned me with a cold look. Not a word. Having just narrowly escaped death, I broke into a cold sweat and opened my mouth. It's best if you know how to play deaf and dumb. As long as you know how to keep your mouth shut, you will still be the princess consort. After saying that, he and the young guard walked away hand in hand to continue their sweet time, leaving me standing there with a blood-stained face. Back when His Majesty betrothed me to Xiao Heng, I was indeed full of anticipation. Who in Qingzhou didn't know that Prince Xiao Heng was handsome, elegant, and held military power at a young age? What was even more praiseworthy was that his inner court was clean, without even a single maidservant around. He was considered the most perfect candidate for a husband after His Majesty decreed the marriage. I don't know how much weight I lost. The noble ladies were madly jealous. No one could understand why Xiao Heng chose me, someone with an ordinary background and a dull personality, as princess consort. What they couldn't understand finally had an answer the moment I stumbled upon Xiao Heng's secret affair. Xiao Heng didn't marry a wife, but an honest, obedient decoration to help cover up his secret. Sure enough, from then on, I couldn't say a single word to Xiao Heng for nights in a row. On the surface, he came to my room every night, but in reality, the moment he stepped in, he would slip out the side door to reunite with the young guard at a mansion outside the city. Even though he supposedly stayed every night, my belly had no movement. The Dowager Princess was furious. The consequence was that imperial doctors came in turns, and various supplements and medicinal soups became my main meals. In just 1 month, I was tortured to the point of losing my appetite, while Xiao Heng looked better and better. Radiating the sweet scent of love, I intercepted him several times, and finally caught him red-handed on New Year's Eve. Xiao Heng was in a hurry to leave the mansion to accompany the young guard, with a look of impatience on his face. What is it? My mother-in-law keeps pressuring me about the pregnancy. The rumors outside have already started. How should I account for this? Why are you asking me about this kind of thing? Can't you figure out a way yourself? It was exactly this sentence. Of course I have thought of a way. I'm just worried that if the truth comes to light in the future, the Dowager Princess will blame. I cannot bear the responsibility. Xiao Heng had an expression of half-understanding. What exactly are you trying to say? Stamp your prince's seal on it to leave an impression, to prove that everything I do is authorized by your highness. After all that talking, you are just afraid of taking the blame. For the sake of your sensible behavior, I will. After saying that, he took out his personal seal that never leaves his side and stamped it without even looking. He threw the contract at me, turned around, and walked out of the mansion. I picked up the contract from the ground, dusted it off. Thus, the seal and token easily came into my hands. We honest women are like this. Even if we look for a wild man, we must have a justified cause and absolutely leave no moral hidden dangers. I went to the most famous Nanfeng male brothel and picked around. I wasn't satisfied with any of them, madam. I prefer a light taste. If it's too greasy, I'm afraid of indigestion. The madam was stunned for a moment, then quickly reacted and understood. In its natural state, guaranteed not to be greasy. Dear guest, please come this way. I followed the madam to the backyard, only to see someone lying on the ground in the courtyard, unable to hide his long legs and strong waist with a good figure. I lifted my skirt and was about to walk past him, when I was suddenly grabbed by the ankle by his bony hand. He slowly raised his head, revealing a beautiful pair of phoenix eyes. Save me. Pretty sister. The moonlight spilled on his sorrowful eyes and brows, adding a layer of dreamy fragility. My heart was suddenly stirred by something unknown. Feeling a tingling sensation, I subconsciously opened my mouth. How much? After some bargaining, I bought him for the cabbage price of 2 taels of silver. I even rented a small courtyard for him and called a doctor. The doctor said, "This young gentleman is poisoned by goo. He needs 1,000-year wild ginseng to be saved." I looked at my little remaining private savings and returned to the prince's mansion without a word. I scoured for all the usable precious medicinal materials. Anyway, it's not spending my money. We honest women just know how to be frugal. I busily brewed and fed him medicine. The young man was like a puppy that was just picked up, staring at me without blinking his bright and watery eyes. Sister, you are keeping me company so late instead of going home. Will brother-in-law blame you? He pitifully hooked onto my finger. But I'm also afraid that if sister leaves, you won't come back. We honest women. How could I withstand this? I immediately lost control and denied it. Of course not. Sister is single. Is that so? That's great. Then sister belongs only to me. He raised his head and gently rubbed against my palm. Recover well. I'll come see you again tomorrow. Before he could react, I clutched my wildly beating heart and quickly slipped away. For the next half-month, I always tried every possible way to sneak out of the mansion to take care of him. I also learned that his name is Rong Sun, originally born into a merchant family. His older brother poisoned him with goo and sold him to the Nanfeng brothel. I offered to help him find his family, but he shook his head and refused. No. My family has sharp dog noses. They will follow the scent and come looking for me themselves. I always felt there was something wrong with those words. But I didn't have time to dwell on it because my frequent outings had already provoked my mother-in-law's suspicion. I heard you have been going out every day lately. What have you been doing? You just took over the properties of the estate. You really should spend more time getting familiar with them. The shops already have their own managers taking care of them. Your top priority is to bear children for the prince. Just like that, I was grounded by my mother-in-law for days. It wasn't until yesterday, taking advantage of her going out for a banquet, that I sneaked out, only to find the courtyard was in a mess. I lost both the person and my money. The landlord also refused to refund the remaining rent, making my heart ache even more. When I came to my senses, I had already settled down in a Taoist temple. It is said that praying for a child here is very effective. As long as you stay for a fortnight, you will definitely have offspring. But for some reason, after dinner, I inexplicably started feeling feverish, weak all over, and dizzy. I actually saw a hidden door crack open in the wall, and a masked strongman walked out from inside, reeking of cheap wine and meat. Little lady, don't struggle. No one will come to save you. Who says? Where did this assassin come from? The strongman instantly widened his eyes. He stumbled backwards and forcefully pushed me away, caught off guard. I fell towards the sharp corner of the table and instinctively closed my eyes. The expected pain did not come. A strong arm suddenly wrapped around my waist before I could open my eyes. I heard Rong Sun's voice, whispering in my ear, "Sister, don't look." I obediently kept my eyes closed. After a flurry of clashing swords, I heard the sound of a heavy object crashing to the ground. In the air, filled the rusty smell of blood. Panicking, I opened my eyes, only to find the strong man was already dead. But Rongsun's body was covered in bloodstains. Tottering, he collapsed towards me, unable to bear his weight. I fell onto the bed with him. Rongsun, you're bleeding profusely. I will go get a doctor right now, as I was about to get up. He tightly grabbed my wrist. Sister is a liar. If you leave, you won't come back. He tilted his head and begged pitifully. I am very obedient. Sister, please don't abandon me. A surge of anger suddenly rushed to my head. I abandoned you? Weren't you the one who ran away first? He looked aggrieved. You didn't come to see me. So I had to go out and find sister. Otherwise, how would I know sister was here? I only cared about worrying about his injuries, and didn't notice the loopholes in his words. Forget it, let's talk about this later. I'll go find some medicine to bandage you up first. I left the room, but I didn't know that after I left, several assassins in black instantly dropped from the roof beams and knelt in unison before Rongsun. Subordinate. Knows this Taoist temple is unsafe. Please, master, evacuate as soon as possible. Subordinate was late to the rescue. Why aren't you hurrying to clean it up? The hidden guards opened a secret passage and dragged out the strongman's corpse. There was also a group of fake Taoist nuns kneeling on the ground, crying and begging for mercy. Hero, please spare our lives. A cruel smile curled up at the corner of Rongsun's mouth. You probably begged the wrong person. I am not a good person either. Silence them. A cold light flashed. The begging sounds came to an abrupt end. The shadows of those kneeling and begging on the wall all fell down. Clean it up. Leave no traces. Rongsun had already fallen asleep. Helplessly, I had to do it myself and pull open his robes to check his injuries, but I searched and searched and couldn't see any wounds at all. Feeling puzzled, I was about to pull my hand back, but was suddenly grabbed by Rongsun. He firmly pressed my hand against his chest. Then those beautiful phoenix eyes slowly opened, looking at me with a hint of a smile. Sister, why not continue? I am willing. My face instantly burned hot. What willing or not willing? I don't understand what you are saying. I got up to leave, but was suddenly hugged by him from behind. Since sister came out to borrow seed. Actually, I turned around, only to see him kneeling pitifully on the bed, looking up at me like a puppy. Why not consider me? Since you know everything, then you should understand. What I want is just a fleeting romance. Even if I give birth to your child in the future, the child can only recognize someone else as their father. Don't you mind? He blinked his eyes twice, suddenly smiled slightly, and forcefully pulled me into his arms. I don't mind at all as long as it is with you. As for the future, who can say for sure? He tilted his head up with a coquettish plea. I only want you, sister. The fire of passion that night burned intensely for a whole night, refusing to stop for a long time. When I woke up again, the sun was already high in the sky, rubbing my waist that felt like it was falling apart. A sentence suddenly popped into my mind. In this world, the more beautiful something is, the more dangerous it is. For 3 whole days, I couldn't step out of that room. When I was finally able to go out and bask in the sun again, I realized that the nuns in the Taoist temple were almost all gone, leaving only 2 unfamiliar faces in charge of serving tea and meals. What happened here these past few days? Why are there no more pilgrims? Where did the other nuns go? The 2 little nuns lowered their heads deeply, just blindly shaking their heads to say they didn't know. I felt puzzled. Thinking back to the strong thug who appeared that night, I felt more and more that this temple hid something strange. I told Rongsun all of this, but he comforted me without a care. Perhaps those nuns went out wandering. I was confused. Aren't wandering monks usually Buddhist? Who cares? Come with me. I'll show you something fun. The moonlight was like water. He pulled me under an old tree. It's so dark here. What exactly are you going to show me? Believe it or not, I can make this tree bloom with flowers in the blink of an eye. How is that possible? It's winter right now. Before his voice faded, a gorgeous red firework exploded at the top of the tree, blooming into countless red lotuses. So beautiful it left me speechless. I stared up blankly, while Rongsun watched me unblinkingly. Beautiful? Yeah, it's so beautiful. I'm talking about you. Sister. The next day, Xiao Hang somehow found this place and brought his young guard to move in openly. Seeing me, he was very surprised. Why are you here? It seems he didn't come here for me. I sighed in relief. But then I heard him start his sarcastic mockery again. This is a Taoist temple for praying for children. You coming here? Could it be you are still hoping this prince will give you a child? Then why has your highness come? Could it be that your highness and your lover are also here to pray for a child? Anyway, it's impossible for this prince to touch you. Put away your wicked thoughts. Don't even think about coveting this prince. He flicked his sleeves and left looking at his back. I rolled my eyes, turned around, and went to find Rongsun to cleanse my eyes. Strange. Ever since Xiao Hang arrived, I had no idea where Rongsun ran off to. He was nowhere to be seen all day. When he returned to the room at night, he guiltily tried to cover it up. Everything I have done has been done openly. He won't cause trouble for you. We should just go on as usual. I actually wish he would come looking for trouble. I just regret I have no chance to kill him. If Xiao Hong dies, then sister will belong only to me. I just thought he was making big talk for the sake of his ego and didn't take it to heart. Little did I know that tonight things would start getting unusual in the middle of the night. A few sharp bird calls suddenly came from outside the window. Rongsun abruptly sat up and quietly got out of bed before leaving. He even specifically checked my breathing, finding my breathing steady and even. Looking like I was still sound asleep, he finally left the room without making a sound. After he left, I opened my eyes and followed him from a distance. I really wanted to see what secret he was hiding from me under the giant wishing tree. A woman in white stood quietly, her figure tall with a heroic, androgynous aura. As soon as Rongsun appeared, she excitedly ran forward and threw herself into his arms. The scene before me was like history repeating itself, except this time the male lead was replaced by Rongsun. I wanted to tie up the little puppy, but the woman suddenly raised her head under the moonlight. I saw her face clearly and gasped. It was Xiao Heng's beloved young guard. She was actually a woman. So, Xiao Hang wasn't a cut-sleeve homosexual. He was staying chaste for the woman he loved. Like a piece of pure jade and the one Rongsun loved. was also the same woman. Then what about me? Why? Did I have to be defeated by the same woman twice? I walked back in a daze. But unexpectedly, before I took 2 steps, I saw another Rongsun slash a fake nun's throat with his sword, accompanied by 2 men in black. Impossible. How could there be 2 Rongsuns? Could it be that everything was just my hallucination? I stepped back in disbelief. Unexpectedly, I stepped on a branch. The noise I made alerted Rongsun and the men in black. By the time they looked my way, I was already running wildly through the mountains. In my panic, running blindly, I almost bumped into someone. It was Xiao Heng, looking very anxious. He didn't even care when I accidentally stepped on his feet twice. Did you see Shir? Panting, I shook my head. No. But I saw a woman who looked very much like him. That's Shir. Where is she? She really is. I didn't expect her to be a woman. But you must keep this a secret. Quickly tell me where she is. Someone is chasing to kill me. If you just promise to protect my safety, I will tell you where she is. Without a second word, Xiao Han called for his guards and ordered them to escort me down the mountain. Too much had happened tonight. Exhausted to the point of collapse, I fell back in the carriage and closed my eyes half asleep. A familiar cold fragrance drilled into my nose. Startled, I abruptly opened my eyes in panic. It was Rongsun, with red-rimmed eyes. He tightly held my hand, explaining anxiously. Sister, the person you saw wasn't me. I violently shook off his hand, staring at him expressionlessly. Which one wasn't you? The one secretly meeting under the tree wasn't you? Or the one slaughtering people wasn't you? You saw everything? I saw everything. Well, no matter which one it was, I find them both disgusting. I stared at him and stated my decision word by word. Let's end this here. No, I won't agree. Assassin. Rongsun clearly didn't expect me to be so resolute. Although his eyes were red, he took one deep look at me and jumped out of the carriage. Drained of all strength, I collapsed against the backrest. After returning to the mansion, I fell ill these days. My spirit is exhausted. I have no energy to do anything. I saw many doctors, but after examining me one by one, none could tell what was wrong. This lasted for almost a month. Useless thing. Mother-in-law finally couldn't hold it back anymore, angrily smashing her teacup. She must be divorced. But the marriage was decreed by His Majesty, without his nod. No one can make the decision, so as soon as Xiao Hang returned to the mansion, mother-in-law forced Xiao Hang to enter the palace and ask for His Majesty's permission. When he returned from the palace, mother-in-law angrily smashed her teacup. How was it? What did His Majesty say? His Majesty said, the Liang state envoys are entering the capital for peace talks. All vassal princes must bring their princess consorts to the palace banquet. Hearing this, mother-in-law had to let it go for now. Then we will wait until after the palace banquet to discuss the matter of divorce. But no matter what, the bloodline of the Xiao family cannot be broken. Xiao Heng's eyes dodged. If the woman your son loves outside gives birth to a child, wouldn't it also be the Xiao family's bloodline? No. The future head of the Xiao family must be a legitimate child. If that's the case, then I won't get a divorce. I will keep the princess consort. In the future, I will adopt the child under her name. I hid behind the rockery, listening secretly. As soon as Xiao Heng came out, Shir had tears of grievance welling up in her eyes. You clearly promised me. Are you really going to give our child to someone else? It's not what you think. It's just in name only. Then I still don't agree. Our child. How can we let someone else be their mother? What if it's not a person, but a cold memorial tablet? Sure, you've also heard. The princess consort is dying. They left while whispering intimately. But they didn't know I was hiding behind the pillar I'm dying. I curled up a cold smile. Sorry, that was just a setup. I bribed the imperial physician to make. I lowered my head. Gently stroked my belly. Everything is paving the way for the arrival of this little one inside my belly. I never forgot what my goal was. Since I can't get the man's love, then I will get his money and power. The future head of the prince's mansion, will be mine. Before the palace banquet, Xiao Heng impatiently paced outside the door. We're going to be late for the palace banquet. The door opened, and I walked out fully dressed up. Xiao Heng suddenly froze, a look of amazement flashing in his eyes with Sure standing nearby. Xiao Heng quickly pulled a long face to cover up his embarrassment. Why are you dressed like this? People who don't know would think you are about to get married again. My face is pale. Only by wearing red can I bring out some good complexion. Sure stared at me indignantly. If your complexion is bad, you can just use rouge to cover it up. The princess consort dressed like this clearly wants to seduce someone. I really feel this hostility of hers is inexplicable. I had no choice but to stretch out my slender hand and slap her. Wake up and realize what your status is. How dare you question me, the princess consort? Are you a guard or a bed-warming maid? She was just making a suggestion. How dare you hit her? Wearing a concubine's attire is damaging to a husband's face. She questioned me. Could it be she wants your highness to lose face at the palace banquet? Xiao Heng was left speechless by my retort. Why have you become like this? You weren't like this before. Of course, it's because I hadn't gained a firm foothold before. I, Yunnan, have never been some delicate little lady at the palace banquet. My appearance immediately caught the emperor's attention. Hanger, is this your newly wedded princess consort? Indeed elegant and refined. No wonder you begged for this marriage back then. Hearing the praise, a trace of a man's pride emerged in Xiao Heng's eyes, and unprecedentedly, he took the initiative to hold my hand. We bowed together to the emperor. Thank you, imperial uncle, for granting the marriage and making this wonderful match possible. I couldn't help but sneer inwardly. Xiao Heng, oh Xiao Heng, did you forget that just yesterday you were discussing with your mother how to divorce your wife? Are you getting Alzheimer's at such a young age? The crown prince of Liang State, accompanied by envoys, crowded around a young man dressed in luxurious clothing. Walking into the grand hall, I turned my head to glance and was instantly frozen in place. Rong Sun. From the moment he entered, his gaze was locked on me as our eyes met. Everything around us seemed to instantly vanish. Falling deadly silent, the world was left with only us looking at each other. But Rong Sun quickly looked away. His expression was cold, as if he had never known me. The palace banquet began. I followed Xiao Heng, listening to Rong Sun and the emperor, asking and answering questions. Nowadays, the world is in turmoil, with warlords vying for power. The Liang State has come this time, willing to form an alliance with Great Wei, to join forces and conquer the world. At today's palace banquet, we only talk about friendship and not state affairs. The strategy of alliance will be discussed in the imperial court later. Play the music. The dancers came on stage. A strong scent of cosmetics hit my face. I suddenly felt nauseous and almost threw up. I quickly used the excuse of using the restroom to go outside for some fresh air. Unexpectedly, I bumped into a scene I shouldn't have seen. The young guard was crying. She turned her head and saw me. Her eyes suddenly lit up. So unlucky. Without a word, I turned around and left Rong Sun caught up in a few steps and grabbed my wrist. Sister. I shook off his hand. Crown Prince, please behave yourself. Rong Sun had a hurt expression on his face. Does sister plan to act like strangers with me from now on? I sneered, weren't you the one who pretended not to know me first? Who are you acting pitiful for now? I stood blankly in place, not knowing what I was thinking about. But unexpectedly, as soon as I stepped into the grand hall, I saw another Rong Sun. Sitting at the banquet, still wearing an expression as if he didn't know me. Could it be that in this world there are two identical people? I stared at Rong Sun in his seat, looking him up and down, which aroused Xiao Hang's dissatisfaction. Is he handsome? Xiao Hang viciously warned me. Don't forget your identity. Actually, he is just average. Not as good as the young guard beside your highness. Being able to play both male and female is much more flavorful. I just realized that the princess consort's temper is unexpectedly this fierce. Before, it seems this prince misjudged you. A flash of excitement, like discovering new prey, crossed his eyes, and he even raised his hand to touch my face. I've long heard that Prince Qing, Xiao Hang, is brave in battle. I have looked forward to meeting you for a long time. Rong Sun suddenly appeared holding a wine cup, interrupting Xiao Hang's movement. Xiao Hang immediately stood up to return the greeting. I feel like old friends with Prince Qing at first sight. Why don't we share a table and have a good chat? After saying that, he looked at me with deep eyes. I wonder if the princess consort could make some room? I locked eyes with him. I keenly felt that the Rong Sun in front of me was no longer the previous one. Just now I was too busy arguing with Xiao Hang to see how they switched places. But right now, besides agreeing, I had absolutely no reason to refuse. I scooted over to the empty seat beside me. Xiao Hang just wanted to lean over, but was beaten to it by Rong Sun, who sat in the middle. Brother Xiao, let's drink. Xiao Hang looked extremely flattered. The dignified crown prince of Liang actually called him Brother Xiao. What a great honor this was. Xiao Hang immediately forgot his minor displeasure and started drinking happily with Rong Sun, but he didn't know that right at this moment, the crown prince of Liang, who was calling him brother, with his other hand, was tightly grasping his wife's wrist with an undeniable possessiveness. After rounds of drinks, Xiao Hang was completely drunk, collapsed on the table, and mumbling. Rong Sun leaned forward, pretending to hear clearly, and shouted loudly, "What? You are inviting me to stay briefly at your prince's mansion? Is it convenient?" After saying that, he didn't forget to glance at the emperor. The emperor was just worrying about how to settle the Liang state envoys. Settling the Liang state envoys in Prince Qing's mansion. This is a major matter concerning diplomatic relations. The entire Prince Qing's mansion must do their utmost to entertain them well. Xiao Hang, unconscious, was taken away. I turned my head and saw the corner of Rong Sun's mouth quietly curl up, like a fox that got its way. Back at the mansion, after finally settling the Liang state envoys, it was already late at night. I just remembered I still had an important matter to do. I went to Xiao Hang's room and was just about to unbutton his clothes when the door was kicked open. Rong Sun, like a gust of wind, suddenly blocked in front of me. Sister, didn't you say you were disgusted by him? I didn't expect you to actually be here late at night. Let go. I am the princess consort of Qing. What's wrong with that? Rong Sun was furious. He threw me over his shoulder and walked outside. I beat him desperately. Let go. Didn't you hear me? Because the child in my belly must have a father. I am going to be a mother. The father of this child can only be Xiao Hang. Rong Sun's face immediately darkened, and he instantly drew his sword. I will go kill him right now. So sister never really intended to borrow seed in the first place? What do you mean? Don't ask. These things, the less you know, the safer you are. Otherwise, that psychopath of a brother of mine will definitely do you harm. Afterward, he explained the previous misunderstandings to me. Only then did I know they were twins to the outside world. They both shared the single identity of Crown Prince Rongsun because twins were considered ominous. The Empress secretly hid one of them away to raise him secretly after giving birth. Thus, the two brothers, one in the light and one in the dark, split their duties and agreed to rule the world together in the future. Who knew they would have disagreements over the plan to restore their country, and he was thrown into the Nanfeng brothel and locked up. Remember, next time you see my brother, you must hide far away from him. So, the one who killed people last time was your brother? And that sure is your brother's subordinate? I originally wanted to disguise myself as my brother, to fish for some information from her. Who knew she would throw herself at me the moment we met and take advantage of me? He looked aggrieved in my heart. Huge waves were surging. Shur was the crown prince of Liang's subordinate, and she was lurking in Prince Qing's mansion. Could there be an even bigger conspiracy behind this? I was deep in thought when I was suddenly pulled into Rongsun's arms. Sister, the misunderstanding is cleared up now. Is there any reward for me? Then you tell me, what exactly are you guys plotting? I can't say. I sneered inwardly. See? Men are just like this. They say they love you. But when it comes to core interests, they are warier than anyone else. Then get lost. Don't disturb my husband and me saying that. I was about to take off my shoes and get into bed when I was laughed at by him suddenly with a forceful yank. He dragged Xiao Hang to the floor. Sister, keep your voice down. You wouldn't want brother-in-law to see us being intimate, right? His lips fell, blocking my angry curses. The next morning when Xiao Heng woke up, he saw me sitting on the edge of the bed putting on my clothes. What happened? Between us? It's exactly what you see. Xiao Heng didn't resist as much as I imagined, and even seemed to be lingering on the aftertaste as he reached out to pull me. Although you and I have become husband and wife. From now on, as long as you don't cause trouble for sure, I will also treat you well. There's no need. Last night was just an accident. I interrupted him mercilessly. From now on, I will keep my promise and won't disturb your highness and your sweetheart's sweet time. After saying that, I got up and left. As soon as I went out, I arranged spies to observe Xiao Heng's every move. Sure enough, I heard Xiao Heng and Shur had a big fight. She first ran to Xiao Heng's place, crying and making a scene, then pretended to run out of the mansion broken-hearted. After leaving the mansion, she quickly put on a calm expression, hired a carriage, and headed all the way to the Daoist temple. When the spy came back to report, I was directing the servants to clean the rooms after seeing the guests off. I took a small box and entered the palace. I didn't come back until it was dark. The butler reported to me that Xiao Heng left the mansion to look for someone and hasn't returned yet. Asking if we should send more people to look, I waved my hand and said no, and even asked him to prepare good wine and dishes and bring them to my room. As soon as I entered the door, my waist was hugged from behind. Sister, where did you go? I went to take care of some business. Have you eaten yet? If not, sit down and eat together. Rongsun nodded and sat down. The first cup of wine. Thanks to you for giving me a beautiful memory. He was a bit surprised. Sister has finally realized who is the one that loves you the most. The second cup of wine. Thanks to you for giving me a child, giving me confidence from now on. Sister, you are acting a bit strange. What happened? I didn't speak and offered the third cup of wine. The third cup of wine to you. I'm sorry. Before I finished speaking, a loud explosion suddenly came from the south of the city. Rongsun suddenly, subconsciously ran outside. It's too late. His Majesty has already sent troops to surround the Taoist temple. What did you do? Did you betray my brother? What exactly did you say? The beautiful fireworks buried underground, following the secret passages of the Taoist temple, spread all over the city. Did you want to blow me and the child up to the sky together? Before making a move, I definitely would have taken you away. But I am not willing. I am a citizen of Wei. I am not willing to watch the common people of Wei suffer and die. If you want to seize the empire, then do it openly and honorably. What kind of ability is plotting and scheming? Rongsun lowered his head. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be this crazy. But no matter what you say, I won't let you. Step out of this door. From now on, you don't need to see me ever again. Rongsun, the Empire and me. Which one do you choose? His departure was within my expectations. I never believed a man would, for a woman, give up everything he has, just like I would also show no mercy for my own interests that night. Xiao Heng didn't return to the mansion. Instead, news came that he was thrown into prison. Mother-in-law was pacing anxiously, pointing at me, telling me to contact my father and risk everything. To save Xiao Heng, I took out the divorce paper and threw it at her face. None of my business. I won't be this princess consort anymore. Besides, what good does it do for you to become a divorced woman? There are plenty of benefits. Come in. By the grace of heaven, the Emperor decrees. Xiao Heng, Prince of Qing, is stripped of his noble title, demoted to a commoner, and exiled to the border. The princess consort, Lady Chen, has rendered great merit, and especially conferred the title of Princess Pingning, granted a fiefdom and uppunnage. The former Prince Qing's mansion shall belong to her. Mother-in-law was dumbfounded and fainted on the spot. I had someone pack her up and throw her to the Taoist temple. Just like how she left me alone back then, the plaque of Prince Qing's mansion was taken down and replaced with Princess Pingning's mansion. From then on, I am the sole master of this place. Having money, power, and no husband, it's simply a fairy-like life until I heard the king of Liang wants to form a marriage alliance with the Wei state. The emperor's daughters have all been married off. In the imperial palace, you are the only newly titled princess. I summoned you to the palace today to ask for your opinion. I am perfectly willing. But is he willing? Sister. I turned around, only to see Rongsun walking out from behind the screen wearing a red bridal veil. I kept a straight face, didn't I say? If you step out of that door, we would never see each other again? Rongsun grabbed me, looking aggrieved. But sister, I left through the window. In the end, I still accepted this new husband of mine. What can I do? Who asked him to be so clingy?